Welcome to the show, Pete Wilson. You are a man of many talents with a passion for music. Your career started arranging and building stages for festivals and has evolved to include providing and overseeing electronics and lighting. You've produced and staged various artists, including Ocean Colour Scene, with whom you toured, and you've worked on numerous festivals, for example, WOMAD, the Edinburgh Festival, Bath Festival, and of course Glastonbury Pyramid stage. Now that the family have taken on some of the arranging of the production from you, it's opened up your opportunity to perform at Glastonbury Open Mic Stage. Thank you so much for joining us on the show here, and please do tell us more.
Well, I mean, I started my festival career in 1975. So this year will be 50 years of festivals.
Wow.
And I did sort of 6 Stonehenges, and then eventually went to Glastonbury in 1981. Was there for a couple of years as a punter, and then I got asked to do the site electrics with another guy, at which point there were only two of us doing the electrics for the entire festival at that point.
Wow.
So you can see these days just how much that's grown, and probably how many thousand electricians there are actually on site.
Yeah, right.
So that was good, and I've just basically carried on doing festivals ever since. It's been my love, and my children have grown up there, and they're now taking over and various areas that I used to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty good. So I've had a wonderful life with festivals, I
Good
have to
stuff.
say.
Yeah, good stuff.
Now, do you play music too?
Yeah, I mean, I've always played a little bit of guitar. I bought my first guitar when I was 15.
Mm.
I wagged off school and took the train into London, to Shaftesbury Avenue, and bought my first guitar for £15.
Wow.
But then the late 80s, I actually lost most of my guitars through a fire,
Oh
Oh
no.
which
no.
was a bit
That's not good.
sad. I didn't play for a long time after that,
Yeah.
until probably about 7 years ago, and then I really went for it. Bought myself a Strat and a couple of decent amps and
Oh,
everything,
okay.
and uh, basically due to age, I mean, I'm 72 next month, so the chances of playing in a band get less and less the older you get,
Yeah.
which is why I do the open mics a lot,
Yeah.
because it's a way of playing with others,
Mm.
putting my own material out, things like that.
Yeah.
So I just support all the open mics locally, and particularly the one that Lee and Ronnie organise. And I go along and I chuck a bit of lighting in for it and things like that. So
Mm.
I just like that business.
Do you have a sound company or?
Basically, we're just doing the pubs and places like that at the moment. I am working on my own set, which I'm doing. I'm putting backing tracks together at the moment, and just doing basically sort of blues rock um, uh, kind of backing and music.
Mm.
Hmm. Well,
So
what about reggae?
reggae. Now back in the day, right? I was a rocker, right? There used to be mods and rockers back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, mods listened to reggae and ska and everything, but the rockers all listened to heavy music and, Deep Purple and all the bands at that time.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I never really got involved until in the early 70s. I was with a friend. We ended up in the house of a Jamaican family, and lovely. As soon as we walked in, we got the grandfather gave us all kind of red stripe, and it was lovely place. We went upstairs to listen to the music, and this guy had built into a double wardrobe two 18-inch speakers, right? And it's the first time I really heard reggae, right?
Mm.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is stunning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have enjoyed reggae over the years.
Yeah.
So I think being doing stage lighting, because you're doing a lot of different shows, different types of music, things like you end up with quite an eclectic taste when it comes to
Yeah.
music.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, I'm still a bit stuck in I mean, I was, as I say, I was a bit of a rocker, and my kind of music back then was, well, I was weaned on the Who, Jimi Hendrix,
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
um,
Mm.
and I can remember my brother buying a Cream album. I think it was called
Mm.
Disraeli Gears,
Right.
and it's to me it was everything was very much about the exciting sound that you could get from a guitar. So I've
Yeah.
loved and loved guitars ever since.
Yeah.
So I actually live in a caravan. I've been in a caravan for 25 years in
Wow.
a little woods in the middle of nowhere. I do the animal feeding during the winter for the farmers and for all the wildlife and stuff like that. So
Mm.
it's a nice way of living.
Yeah.
And I built a little studio up there and everything. So I can get a few mates around and play and stuff. So
Yeah. Wonderful.
but
Tom?
Yeah. With regards to your kind of staging career or that kind of
mm,
area that you've been involved in, have you found or seen a big difference in the kind of staging that's happened over the years? Obviously, you started in the late '70s there, through to now, in a sense of how I suppose the technology and the kind of that kind of thing is what I suppose is improved for you and how you can set things up, and also with regard to all the different shows that you've been involved with, any particular standout moments or kind of pinch me moments that you thought, wow, I've been backstage as it were on
yeah.
something key like that.
I suppose, I mean, two that stand out for me was the when Ocean Colour Scene did the Albert Hall. I
Mm,
designed that show. That
mm,
was, for me, that was one of those high points.
yeah,
And the other was doing the lighting for them on the pyramid at Glastonbury,
yeah,
which was, again, that was quite a moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
absolutely.
and I can just remember it rained and it rained and it rained that year.
Right.
It was a bit harsh for me that year because I was also building and running a roller skating rink at the
Oh wow.
festival
Okay.
for youngsters, basically,
Yeah.
and that was going okay apart from the rain. So
Yeah.
we had a bit of difficulty there, but yeah, the technology has changed massively.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to build all my own stuff. My first lighting rig I built myself by hand.
Mm.
Right.
All
Yeah.
the actual lamps themselves, the lighting desk, everything. Obviously, back then everything was analog, and so I had a lighting company in Bath called Nitro Lights. When that came to an end in the recession in the early 90s, I had a sort of a bit of a gap, at which point everything had turned digital. So I
Mm.
had to kind of completely relearn it.
Relearn it all. Yeah.
Oh, it was quite harsh at the
Yeah, I
time.
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
But I've done it, and I still do a few shows. I do a few festivals
Yeah.
during the summer, doing a bit of lighting. Do you know what a geodesic dome is?
The what?
No.
Eden Project, the
Okay.
Eden
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Project.
Yeah.
That is a geodesic dome,
Okay.
right?
Mm. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, so you can imagine it's basically I do marquee versions,
Right.
much smaller,
Mhm.
but they go into festivals for venues
Gotcha.
and accommodation units and things like that.
Yeah.
So that side of it, my grandson's now taking over on that side of it.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I can now got a bit of chance to concentrate on my own music,
That's
which
great. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to.
Fantastic.
Um, so yeah,
Do you like social conscious music, right?
yes,
And
yeah.
who would be some of your favorite artists?
Difficult to say, really. As I say, I've got quite an eclectic taste when it comes to music. Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of Lennon stuff, I have to say. I mean, I meet up with people at festivals, with other musicians, and it all seems to be going down the same road, that we want to make a world that's better. We
Mm.
want more music in the world. We want to try and get rid of all the prejudices, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
big
Definitely.
problems. And we've got a country that needs to sort itself out as well because it's turning into a bit of a mess for everybody. Um, and whereas back in the day, the early festivals that I used to do, they were all free festivals. And it was
Mm.
Mm.
what you put into the festival rather than what you got out of it. These days now it's all, I wouldn't say corporate, but it had to, for that many people to use a space like, Glastonbury or any other festival takes a lot of legislation these days because of
Yes.
safety and, all the need for toilets, for this, for water, for all those things. So it has changed massively. As I say, when I started, there was only at Glastonbury, there's only two of us doing the Electric Soul Festival,
Wow.
Right.
and you
Okay.
look at it now. One of my favourite bits of working at Glastonbury was when I used to be a stage driver there as well. Once I put marquees up, and that means picking up the artists from outside the site and bringing them on in time to play and getting them back off again, which you
Yeah.
think sounds easy, but through a festival crowd,
Yeah.
that
No.
can be quite difficult.
Challenging. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
But it was the ones that used to come because I used to be on West Holt stage, which is used to be the jazz stage many years ago, but it was also the world stage. So a lot of the bands I used to pick up far distant, and I used to bring them in via Redgate. And if you come across the top of the site, the first thing you see is this entire valley that's a city, And when I used to bring people in, and it's just their jaws used to drop,
Yeah.
seeing what
I bet.
how
Yeah.
big it was,
Yeah.
and can we stop, take pictures? And it's like
Yeah.
brilliant, absolutely wonderful. So I did enjoy that bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do, social conscious music here
Yes.
and produce. Keep your ears open for us because
Mm,
we look for talent that's like,
right.
just immaculate talent, and we'd like to put them on and promote
Mm,
that they're doing social conscious music, positive social conscious music at that,
right. Yes. Yes.
because we need some good news out here,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
and since you're around so much talent, keep your ears and eyes open for us and let us know.
Yes, I will do that. I will do that. I mean, we have got, since I've started doing all the open mic stuff and helping organize and things like that, is I've been surprised at just how many good youngsters there are coming along.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fantastic voices, and a lot of them do have a good social conscience.
Okay.
So that is the thing I'm looking at the moment. Yeah.
Man, thank you for coming on. First of all, taking the time.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Lovely
it very much.
Really, really
opportunity.
wonderful. And Tom's gonna ask you another question to get all your information so we can spread the love.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I just want to, well, two things really. First of all, I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask you, in your sort of experience of all the different festivals that you've been in, do you think artists are free to do the music they want to do on their sets, or do you think it's very much their kind of duty bound, if you like, to do all the hits that everyone wants to hear, or is it an element of they can interject with things that you mentioned, sort of people that did do social conscious stuff? Do you think that now there's a bit more freedom with artists that they can, it's their set, so they can do what they want with
I
it?
I don't know. There's so much kind of paperwork these days
Oh, right, okay.
with all of this that it's difficult to tell. I mean, all I know is back in the day, I mean, there were bands like Hawkwind that would just come and play for nothing because they loved it,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
I do know other people like that. I mean, we would go out and do stuff for next to nothing,
yeah.
for
Just to
uh,
get out there and
just
do
just for
stuff.
the hell of doing it,
Yeah, 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 sure.
I
No, that's good.
mean, uh, so yeah, yeah.
With regards to the open mic stuff, then, is it do
Mm.
you go to certain regularly places, certain regular
Yes.
open nights? What tell us about those? Where can
Well,
we find you?
okay, now we've now moved to the Bridge Inn at Horton, which is just outside Devizes.
Okay,
It's a lovely little pub. It's right in the middle of nowhere, so there's no sound problems.
right.
Mhm.
Can't upset anybody, and it's right next to the Kennington Avon Canal. So there's boats all down the canal there, and it's lovely. It's a
Yeah.
lovely place. And the new landlady is very, very keen on us carrying on and doing a lot of stuff there.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
It's about everybody playing the game, instead of being
Yeah.
greedy, it's just about like we got a lovely world. If we learn to appreciate it properly,
Mhm.
That's right.
and
Yeah,
so
for
that's
sure.
that's that's my thing really. And
Brilliant.
I'm very lucky. I've got a lovely family who've, let's say my son has got his own contract now. He had, I think it was 56 caravans in Glastonbury last year
Wow.
as accommodation for artists and crew.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
And the same in, I think he had about 40 odd at WOMAD this year and stuff. So
Yeah,
we do a lot of towing.
absolutely.
Yes.
I
Bet
bet
you
you
that.
do, yeah.
Well, thank you for the privilege of your time, my brother. It is-
Oh, that's my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you very much.
Doing
Save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.